John Warner here, Regional Officer with Bush Church Aid for South Australian Northern Territory, and I'm here with Reuben. And mate, you champion the university ministry on all of the campuses along North Terrace?
That's right, yep. So I oversee ministries in the city, as well as have a role with the Australian Fellowship of Evangelical Students, looking after the region, South Australia and Northern Territory, and really trying to see our universities reached with the gospel and Christian students matured as they spend a couple of years with us.
So you got the same patch as me, South Australian Northern Territory?
Yeah. Really excited and trying to grow what God's doing in that region.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Now, tell us, like, in a nutshell, what's the mission of AFES and I guess ES students here? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, the way we talk about it as just a very brief catchphrase is reaching the 35,000 plus full-time undergraduates is really our strong focus. But any of the students really that find themselves on one of our university campuses in South Australia and in Darwin as well. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And I've been up here part of a panel helping students to think about what life and ministry and work could look and sound like for them outside of the city, so regional, rural and remote Australia, which has been great, mate. But what sort of percentage, I guess, students, part of the uni, but part of your ministry to outside of the city?
Those who come from outside of the city. Yeah, my guess, we have students coming and going, of course, and my rough guess would be somewhere around 10 to 15% of the students we have would join us from outside of Adelaide. Some of them are coming and living in colleges, the residential colleges. Some of them sort of relocate and live with an auntie or an uncle or something like that to study. And it's just universities bring together all sorts of different people, and we really love the way that our ES community is what we're called. Is a spot where both city and country students can be talking with each other, and actually some of the city students themselves will end up on the other side of their degree being in the country, and I think that's great to have those relational networks already happening.
Yeah, and it was just so encouraging sitting around a table over lunch with a dozen or more students going on country placements, really open and looking, and quite keen actually to go and live and work country as well. And make a difference for Jesus. So, what sort of things, I guess, are you trying to teach them and equip them with to prepare them for, living lives for Jesus when they graduate? Yeah.
So alongside reaching the 35,000, we are really trying to see people mature in their faith across the usually 3 or 4 years, sometimes up to 6 years for a normal degree. Really see all of our students make great progress in their maturity on the one hand, and also their boldness and ability to be ambassadors wherever God places them in the world. So we're reaching the uni campus at the moment, but we want to send them out as people who are ready to reach the communities they find themselves in, the workplaces, whether that's city, country, wherever. And also to be people who are really well equipped with skills around explaining the gospel and explaining the word, whether that's to other believers or to people who don't know Jesus yet. And we really hope that they'll be leaders and significant ambassadors in churches and communities. That could be country, could be wherever God places them. Yeah,
and it's so strategic. I mean, to love what God's been doing here for many years, mate, because often you go out to these communities and it is actually just ordinary lay Christians who are really the backbone of church communities. They're running the church. They're often, sharing the preaching and the ministry of the word.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I keep hearing stories. They keep saying, my years at university, part of AFES group, so formative.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I didn't realise just how impactful the skills that I've learnt back there at uni are now out here, in life and ministry.
Yeah, it's absolutely the case. It's part of my story. I myself grew up in a fairly small, largely under-resourced church, semi-rural South Australia. The skills I learnt as a uni student were just so useful in serving in the youth group there, and then for me was just a catalyst into wanting to see that be the story for lots of others as well.
Yeah. Now, I guess just as we finish up, mate, Yeah, I forgot that about you actually, because there's often a bit of a use by date. You know, you're in this gig. You know, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll be looking for a job with BCA somewhere out regionally when you
Let's talk down the track.
when you graduate from uni, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I do sort of feel like the person that's gone to uni and never left. So maybe I
Okay.
should graduate one day. Yeah.
Good on you,
Yeah,
mate. Hey,
yeah.
just real quickly,
Thank
how
you.
can we pray for you in the ministry and what you'd love to see God doing?
Yeah, I think it'd be great if you would just pray for each generation of students that comes through, that they'll really hear the word of the gospel clearly, respond to that themselves, and just out of that thankful love for what God's done for them, be wanting to share that with any and everyone that they come across, and just be those mature Christians, ready to serve in their churches, equipped for that, and being bold ambassadors for Christ. That would be wonderful if you'd pray that for us and for our students.
Good on you. And if
Yep.
people do want to know more about the ministry of AFES, they can hit up the AFES website, is that
They
right?
can, yeah. Just you could type AFES into Google, and they would get you there, or just es.org.au for the South Australian groups. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good on you. Thanks, mate. Thanks for your
Thank you.
time. It's been really encouraging.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay.